As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's bumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
What a day to come back, huh?
And we're back
from vacation. Crunch Time Sports, Jeff Iafrate and Booner. Welcome to the show. It's Monday, August 25th. Roster cuts are happening. We're breaking them all down today. It took a minute, though. You know, throughout the day, I was waiting and waiting and waiting.
Oh, man.
And then they just started rattling off the cut, which we have all those. We have updated lists with all the cuts. We're breaking it down, talking about it. We have other things to get to, though. Another great week ahead, Bo. And I'm back.
It is. Hey, as Diggity Dog said in the chat, I have myself a new guest today. Jeff Iafrate will be joining me on the show. It was a fun week. Jeff, I hope you had a great vacation, man. It seemed like it was fun. A lot of golf, a lot of just hanging out. So glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
you honestly, you didn't miss. If I'm just being honest, like you just didn't miss a lot last week. It was like a good week to be gone. If you were gone this week, it would have been way bigger.
Yeah,
big.
Yeah, I will say you crushed. The people showed up last week. I thought the shows were great. We had stuff going up content wise. Obviously, even when we're on vacation, just in this business, we're like 85% on vacation. Yeah, like it's not 100% on vacation, but I was checking in, and you were doing your thing. So you did a great job. I am excited to be back. I did miss the chat. What's going on, everyone? I did.
What a day for you to be back too.
Yeah, I know.
What a day for you.
I know you sickos are just so excited that the day I come back, Hendon Hooker is just cut from the squad, which we will get to as well. But yeah, we don't have preseason this week. The season's right around the corner. I'm fired up, and it's just that time, man. Like this is like football's right on. It's the cusp before a long season, man. I can't wait. I'm so fired.
It is too. This week it's college football. I mean, week 0 was Saturday, which was fun. Not the best games, but it was football, college football nonetheless. And this weekend we get a full slate of football, like Ohio State, Texas, Michigan. Couldn't even tell you who Michigan's playing, honestly. Fresno State or New Mexico State, I don't even know. But Michigan's back, Jeff. Everyone's back on Saturday, so I'm pumped up for it.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's really, I mean, who cares what they're playing? That game
just wait till next week, Oklahoma. That's all I've been thinking about.
Yeah, college football is that's this weekend, so at least you get and then you get the day off next Monday. So which we will not be live next Monday, so we'll be off that day.
Real quick, too. I'm sorry, Jeff. I just have to, every time, and this happened last week, too, Jeff, while you were gone. There might be I don't know what's happening, a Crunch Time Sports doc rivalry happening here, because every time I've topped in the show the last 3 days, I keep getting this. Eric Taylor, Boone, did you see the doc show? Was Doc talking about me again? This guy keeps talking about me, Jeff. I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Tyler, the doc wanted us to ask why you didn't trust your
friends. Oh, it was you, not me. Okay.
He tried to tell you, but you chose to believe your 3 new friends. Okay, that's the way that's phrased is a little ridiculous. I wouldn't say I chose to believe Justin Rogers, Colton Pouncey, and Birchfield over Doc. But what I was leaning with was the volume of reporting. Because it was Corey Woods as well. There was a lot of reporting that suggested what I believed was true. Doc obviously had his opinion, and what I will say is he was cut. So I'm not going to sit here and act and defend that the guy was, had a first round pick type of camp. He obviously was cut. So I admit that the doc was right, and that's okay. I don't like the phrasing of I chose to believe them over Doc. Like, I just don't like the doc or something like that. Love him. But it'd be the same thing if I told the doc, hey, I got a source. And I told him a source. It could be from his trusted friend, Jeff, who maybe has some inside sources. But if he hears a bunch of other things from people he works with, he probably wouldn't take my sources seriously. So I think it was just human. It was just me being human. Personal with Doc. It wasn't anything personal.
Can we as well? We got to at least announce the news for people who are watching and don't know. The Detroit Lions officially have waived quarterback Hendon Hooker. Gone. He's done. And I'm sure maybe he'll get picked up. Maybe he'll be the practice squad. Hendon Hooker's time's done in Detroit, though, which potentially practice squad might still be an option. But as of now, on the 53-man, the man's done.
Well, Matthew Evans, appreciate the membership, 16 months. He says Meek's getting cut just means the wide receiver room is deep and Patrick isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, we could talk about all that. We could break that down in a little bit. Can we stay with the Hendon Hooker stuff? This is the biggest news, in my opinion.
Yeah. So,
because I have some things on it too.
Yeah, let me just say this. All right. So Hendon Hooker is now no longer a Detroit Lion. All right. That is the reality. Now let me tell you this. And I've been out for the last week. So this is a good I get to address the people. Vacation was nice. I golfed a lot. My blood alcohol level was extremely high every single day. And I think through that time, besides being incredibly hungover, I think what I learned after seeing the news of Hendon Hooker being cut today was I am an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. And I will say that repeatedly. I am an idiot. And the reason why I am an idiot is I believed that a third-round pick in Hendon Hooker, who I thought had some skills or some traits that I liked or, things that I believed could translate to the league, was completely wrong. And he didn't show enough through his 3 years. I know the first year you could say didn't necessarily count, whatever the case may be. He did not improve. He did not adjust to the NFL in terms of what the NFL is schematically. He just never did. And it's unfortunate. And what I will say is for all the people that were commenting, I made a video today talking about it. And there's a lot of comments of like, well, Brad was just drafting backup in the third round. Guys, and I'll say this, man, like I'm not going to come at Brad over his like draft picks or anything like that. Like obviously Brad is an elite talent evaluator. But what I will say is no GM is going to draft a quarterback in the third round. This isn't like a Brock Purdy, like Mr. Irrelevant pick. I'm talking third round pick just to be a backup. Like you draft guys in the third round that you maybe think, hey, this guy has some upside. Like this guy has something that maybe we can work on and he could turn into a pretty good player. Like, so I don't want to just be like, oh, he was just drafted to be a backup. Like, no, I think he was drafted because Brad liked the traits he had or, the arm, whatever it was. And it just didn't work out. Like he just didn't pan out. And, it is what it is. So I think Brad, hey, it was a miss. It's fine. I think he was drafted, I don't know the exact pick. It was 90 or 68th overall. It was a miss. It is what it is. All right. And it is unfortunate. And this is what I will add to, and I'm not going to harp too much on this because me and you, Boone, talked about it before the show and we can see it a little differently, whatever. The thing that I think stings, in my opinion, is it's not just the Hendon pick. It's not just the Broderick pick or the Colby pick. Colby was fifth rounder, so you can say whatever. But the 2 third-round picks he missed on, he had an excellent draft. That draft, I think it was Jameer, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. He nailed those picks, and they ended up going to the NFC Championship game the next season, and they ended up losing to the 49ers. But the reason why it stings, is because Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin did not help you and have not helped you the last couple of years. So thank God that Brad nailed the other picks, and he absolutely nailed them, and all of them, most of them became all-pro players. So it does balance out. But it is unfortunate. It's a swing and a miss by Brad, and that's fine. You're going to have those. It is what it is. Upside, he didn't have the upside he thought or I thought, and he ended up being a bust. So Kyle Allen, congratulations. All right, Kyle Allen, you had a good preseason. You showed that you can handle this offense. You can be the point guard of this offense. And Hendon Hooker just didn't show improvement at all in the games. He did not show he was ready to be a backup. He did not show that he has promise. And I'll add this before I said it to you, Boone. We could talk about who's going to pick him up. I don't know what you see from the game film that suggests he should even be picked up, if I'm being honest. I don't really know what you could argue. Maybe there's a team out there that likes some of his upside, which I think could happen. But it's not like the dude's shown anything in the preseason where a team could be like, he had a couple of plays there.
Yeah.
Right. Really. There's really nothing there.
I don't think people realize enough too. Like when these roster cuts happen and these things start to happen, they're like these teams as well around the league, they only have 53 spots. And if he doesn't get picked up on waivers to be on a 53-man roster, he can just come back to Detroit in the practice squad. But I do think the biggest thing, though, is I saw a report today, and I didn't hear Brad say it specifically, and maybe, I don't know, I would think it's a real report, but it sounded like Brad said that for a guy like Hendon Hooker, just a change of scenery feels like it would be something good for him in his career. I don't know if that was specifically what Dan said, but with that, I do think, Jeff, like that's a good mindset to have for Hendon Hooker, to where Hendon Hooker is able to be like, okay, I need to go somewhere else and learn, or, you know, because he needs to revitalize his career. Like, he is 27 years old, right? He's a little old on the older end for a younger player, to where he needs to go out there and he needs to figure out his career, whether he wants to be a backup in the NFL or get an opportunity at some point in his career to start. Obviously, there isn't a path in Detroit for it. And I'm not, this isn't me going at you, Jeff, or the people who are out there saying that Hendon Hooker has improved and all of that. Like, I think it was very clear this offseason, and I said it, and you know me, Jeff, I've been saying it since they brought Teddy in December. I get, like, the side that I can agree with you guys on was with Hendon Hooker, of they want a guy with playoff experience there for the playoffs. But at the end of the day, Hendon Hooker was supposed to be your QB too. They didn't trust him to be in a position if need be, right? That's why they went and got Teddy Bridgewater. It wasn't like, yes, it was for the experience, but that still happened. And that was right away the sign for me saying it's over. Like, it's not going to happen. He hasn't gotten that far enough in his development to where they trust him. And that's, to me, first red flag. And then, yes, there are times where his practices look good. Everything looks good. But when Kyle Allen comes in and is essentially like beating you out from day one, or like playing right there with you, and then, yeah, you're having some good camps, and then you just look terrible in the Hall of Fame game. Like, it wasn't even like it was bad. It was over at that point. Like, in my opinion, like, there was no coming back from that. And it was like, dude, what have I been saying about this Hendon Hooker thing the whole time? Has nothing to do with the talent. He's got an arm. Yes, he's missed throws, and we have seen him miss throws at training camp practices, all that. Has nothing to do with the talent of his skill wise. It comes down to like pre-snap reads. It comes down to like running an NFL offense at an efficient level and being able to comprehend and get your team on track. And there was multiple times throughout camp, and Jeff, me and you saw multiple times, like false starts, or he's having to call a timeout. And like you had said the one time, well, look at, he's out there talking to the offense. He's talking to the offense, and then there's a false start because he can't figure out pre-snap how to get the offense together. And that's stuff that Kyle Allen just didn't have. And Hendon Hooker, and like, yes, people want to sit here and be like, it's really year two for him. It's not year two for him when it comes to the mental side of the game in the NFL. Like, he was still in the film room. He was still out there learning plays in the playbook. And so, like, it was year three of him knowing this playbook, pre-snap stuff, everything. And that's what I've been trying to preach since week one of preseason, saying he just can't comprehend the pre-snap, and he can't figure out this playbook and get this offense just rolling. Like, I think the doc actually brought this up. I don't think he led a touchdown drive this preseason. 4 games. It's not like it was 3 games. 4 games. They were the second 2 teams in the NFL had 4 games. He had an opportunity in 4 games to not lead a touchdown drive. Maybe 1. I could be wrong, Jeff. I think I heard the doc say he didn't lead 1 and just a field goal drive.
The only one he had the rushing TD that was called back because of a holding.
And then maybe they got a field goal. So it's like that's worrisome. And Dan said it today. Dan was like, listen, we can evaluate in practice all we want, and you can have the best camp all you want. But if you're there for 4 games and you don't show anything, we can't do that. Like, we can't have that. And I think that's the exact thing, situation that happened with Hendon Hooker. And as a person, and also skill wise, I think he's there and he could do it in the NFL. But when it comes to like the mental side of like actually running in high level NFL offense, that's where I think things just never clicked for him. And he had issues with that. And I think we can all agree on that. So, it sucks that it didn't work out. And I know later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about those 3rd round picks. And we're going to talk about that draft class around 8:45. So, but even with that though, you know, I'm not mad at the pick. I'm not mad at any of that. I know some people are. I think it was the right move. I could see it coming from a mile away. I'm shocked, to be honest, Jeff. Again, not shots at anyone. I'm shocked more people just didn't say this was going to happen. I'm shocked. Like, this felt like the easiest cut of camp. Like, if we're being honest, it felt like the easiest one because of how bad he was in the preseason games.
Yeah, I will say, I will give credit to Brad for this. When you draft a player that high, like in the 3rd round, right?
Yeah.
He has every right to still like die on that hill a little bit.
Yes.
Because if we know Brad, and not even a Brad thing, it's a GM thing. They get stubborn when it's their draft pick. Like, especially, he had to cut 2 third-rounders today. He had to cut Broderick Martin and Hendon Hooker. I give Brad a lot of credit, and that's just self-awareness to be like, yeah, these guys kind of stink. And I drafted them, and I'm still going to cut them, because they stink. He could argue like, well, I drafted him for a reason. There's upside here, whatever the case may be, and die on that hill, but he didn't. And he went ahead and cut both of them, which we'll get to Broderick as well. So I give Brad a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's where I think with Brad, like that was the one thing I was happy to see today. I don't like seeing people cut, but at least for Brad as a GM to say, hey, I can swallow my pride. I was wrong on these guys.
Like,
all right, fine. Like, I'm not mad at it. If he, and I told you this a million times, Jeff, if they held on to Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin and they just kept going and being like, oh, it's going to work. It's going to work. I would have more to say about Brad than anything else. The fact that he actually was like, okay, we got to cut these ties. It's just not working. I'll take the blunt end of this whole thing. Good for him, man. Like, I respect that.
Yeah, because those 2 would be taking up roster spots of 2 others that deserve it. Like, they just do.
Yeah.
And he's he didn't keep a 3rd quarterback because Hendon is still a developmental quarterback. No. Here's the problem. Like, and this is why this year was make or break for Hendon Hooker, because you're seeing guys come into the league like Shedeur Sanders. You could say whatever you want about him. He looked better in one of the preseason games he played. Not this past one, he struggled, but the first one he played in, immediately better than Hendon Hooker. And he's a rookie, like 5th round pick, and he comes in and had a pretty good first preseason game. And then there's Hendon Hooker, who just can't put everything together in his 3rd year with this offense. And
that's why it's so disappointing, man.
But you can bring up any other rookie quarterbacks. Like, now, some of them do struggle, but these guys come into the league and look better than Hendon. Like, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a problem. So yeah, it's over. Kyle Allen's your backup. Now, we can both agree that you see all these backups moving around. The Eagles just traded for Sam Howell. Kenny Pickett just went to the Raiders. Like, you got to make a move, in my opinion. I still think they should make a move for a better backup. Backups they're traded all around the league right now.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was on the front line of bringing a vet quarterback. If they stick with Kyle Allen for now, I'm not throwing my computer. I'm good. Like, I'm okay. We can deal with it. I actually thought after the Hall of Fame game, I text you boys, felt like Kyle Allen actually was fine. Like, he can run this offense. You could agree or disagree. I do not care if you disagree with me. But if you're like actually like not take biased away of not liking Kyle Allen because he's thrown 18 picks and 16 touchdowns that you always say, take that away. He actually was good in the preseason outside of the Hall of Fame game. And like, yes, obviously that's not your long-term backup. If Kyle Allen is our backup this season and you only need him for a game, I could deal with that. Dead honest. Because he actually, like, if you watch the games and you saw him throughout practice, like, Kyle Allen was he was better in practice than Hendon Hooker, and he was 100 times better in the games than Hendon Hooker. Like, he actually looked like a backup quarterback. So I would not be mad. And I was one of the first ones to say, give me a vet quarterback. And I would still hope they do. Go get a Jameis. Go get that. But, like, I text you boys, Klotz was like, bring DeVito in, Tommy DeVito. That's a lateral move. Like, Tommy DeVito is not better than Kyle Allen. Good name, good image. We love our Italians, but it's a lateral move. Like, there's no reason to give up draft assets to make a lateral move. If they want to give up a 6th-round pick for a guy like Tommy DeVito, I'm out. Like, that's just draft capital you don't need to move.
I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be like Tommy.
I think he can win you a game if needed.
I mean, like a legit backup, like someone who's
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's like, okay, whatever. We're good. Like, we can win with Kyle Allen for a game.
I get what you're saying. I don't think I'm as comfortable with him as you are. Like, I think if even if it was a game, I would still be like, shit. Like, because I would still be like, I don't think, and it has nothing to do with me. I don't like Kyle Allen. No, I'll admit Kyle Allen was better than Hendon Hooker, but that doesn't change the fact that Kyle Allen.
At first, I thought Kyle, after the Hall of Fame game, see, you do that because all you remember is the Hall of Fame game. No, the last 3 games, he looked like this is my thing with the backup quarterback. There are backup quarterbacks in the league that can win you a game. there are backup quarterbacks in this league, and I think it's tier 1, like Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz is. Like, those guys can go out there, or like what's his name? Why am I missing the our guy Gardner Minshew? Like, there are guys who can actually go out there and win a game. Like, they could start if they needed to for a half a season, and you would be good. And then there's tier 2 where it's just, hey, they might not go win you the game, but they will keep you in the game, and you will have a chance to win the game. Kyle Allen is a guy that will keep you in the game. He will go out there with Amon-Ra, make good throws to Amon-Ra, to Sam Laporta, to J-Mo. He'll make the adjustments that's needed. He's not going to go out there and throw for 400 yards like Jared Goff would, or 300 yards. But he'll throw for 250, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and you need your defense to step up in that game. Where, like, if you want tier 1 backup, I'm with you on that. Like, yes, you don't have a top 7 backup in the NFL. He's probably like 10 to 15, which isn't crazy.
Yeah, like I like the Eagles went and got Sam Howell.
Like, it's a good move. Sam Howell's a guy that can win you a game. I think there's 10 guys like backups in the NFL that can do that.
And I don't think Kyle Allen's in that.
No, that's why I said he's right outside. He's outside of that. Like, he's a guy where you can win a game with. He's not going to win you a game. Like, that's just, you can win the game with him. And it's because your defense and your playmakers.
Right. So I think they should still look. I mean, I saw the Vikings just got Carson Wentz. We thought he was even an option. They just went and grabbed Carson. I mean, it's just like,
oh, he was retired. I was told by the chat he was retired. I said, bring Carson Wentz in, and the chat's like, he's retired coaching football in North Dakota.
And then he just comes in. So
yeah,
it is. And Xavier says, Jeff, don't hate on the guy who replaced your boy. Like, no, it's like that's
Jeff hated Kyle Allen since the Hall of Fame game, and I've noticed he hasn't changed since.
But that's not fair. Like, that can't. So I can't have an opinion about Kyle Allen as a player because I like Hendon Hooker. Like, no,
I just think
that's ridiculous.
Listen, I think with some of your it has nothing to do with Hendon Hooker. I think, and I've done sports talk with you for a long time. I think when you
know this, that's not true.
Agreed. It has nothing to do with Hendon Hooker. But what I do think is when you don't like a guy, and that's the same thing for me. It's the same thing for me. I do it like it's like Joel Embiid with me. The guy's good, and I'm like, I hate him, and I would never want him on my team. I think you hate Kyle Allen.
No, I don't. I don't hate Kyle Allen. I think Kyle Allen is fine. But here's the problem I'm noticing is people are now like yourself.
I'm not doing it. I'm saying he's a 10 to 20, 10 to 15 backup in the NFL. You guys have
taken 2 preseason games against third stringers, and now this guy's like,
it's not 2, it's 3. You're missing. It was 3 games.
Hall of Fame game?
They played 4 total. They played 4 total. The last 3 games he had good games. He looked good.
Games in the preseason against second and third stringers. Now he's all of a sudden the
that's where I think you need to take a step back. No one's saying he's a star. He's the best backup in the league. He's just better than the way you were portraying him to be after the Hall of Fame game, where you're saying you do not like, you were like, cut them both right away. Who cares? No, after the Hall of Fame game, it was Hendon Hooker. And then after the last 3 games, it was like, hey, Kyle Allen can actually be a QB2 in this league. And he has been. I just don't think your mind ever switched. Like,
Allen right now, I think there's probably a couple
people would pick him up instantly. Instantly, Kyle Allen would get picked up by someone. Yes. See, this is where I think you're like dead wrong, because he had a great. This makes me think you didn't watch him play in the preseason.
I did.
Even though we did watch, I know we did watch parties.
His career, I know Kyle Allen.
This is where you're saying through his career. We're talking about what he is today, not like early when he started for an NFL team. We're talking about as a backup.
He was a QB3 last year on a team. He wasn't even the backup.
I mean, he was Josh Allen's backup for like 2 years.
Okay. And how many teams has he been on? Why hasn't teams kept him then?
He's a career backup. He's not a starter. Like, what are you talking about? It's obvious. You're like using like the dumbest logics of all time.
I think people are overreacting to a preseason.
I don't think people are. I think you're overreacting, because like I don't think people are saying Kyle Allen's the best backup in the league. I think people are saying he's more so of a reliable. Like,
no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not. No one's saying Kyle Allen's the best fucking backup in the league. You're doing that as like that's the exact.
Oh, okay, then we're good. Then he's like, let's say 15th. He's right in the middle.
You were the person who 2 weeks ago was with me saying we got to upgrade this position.
I still think
you're cool with Kyle.
Did you not hear anything that I just said?
Yes, I did. You said I'm actually comfortable. I'm cool with him as the backup.
Listen, Jeff.
You can go get another backup, and that's fine. You can disagree, but I'm okay. He can win you a game. You know, even though he has his
Jeff,
in
All right.
turnovers as he does touchdown
I
passes.
need you to. All right.
I'm
Need
cool.
you to take a couple deep breaths.
I'm cool with him. We
Couple
should
deep
want
breaths.
to upgrade that position, backup quarterback.
I don't think it's
And-
as like a if they did, I would be happy. Yes, like you can upgrade him. I don't think it's like you must do it. Like if you were like upgrade your backup quarterback, bring Zadarius Smith in. Give me Zadarius Smith, and we'll roll with Kyle Allen.
That's a different question though. Like now,
But no, I'm just saying like an if for that. I don't know why like you're just sitting here like I think this is what I'm talking about. And I listen, I don't want to argue because I'm sure people don't want to hear us bicker when we have more in the roster. And we're talking about the roster news. This isn't your Hendon Hooker pity party and your Kyle Allen hate.
No, we're talking about Kyle Allen. Okay.
But I think you just haven't switched your mind. Like we've done watch parties, so I know you've watched the game. I don't understand like watching the game of football. Maybe now with quarterback, it's hard for you to evaluate since you love Hendon Hooker so much.
You want to take again?
But like I evaluated Kyle Allen this offseason in the preseason, the last 3 of the 4 games. He had 2 bad possessions all camp, and you're using that and saying, oh, and then you're talking about his like career as a starter in in the Carolina with the Panthers, one of the worst organizations in football, and being like, well, he threw 18 interceptions in like the worst franchise in NFL, the worst franchise. Like you're using that as a sample size instead of actually watching. Go watch the possessions that he had in the last 3 games.
Preseason fucking game.
Exactly. So you can't talk about it then. Don't comment on Kyle Allen. No, don't. If you're gonna sit there and say I'm not watching it,
preseason,
that's illiterate. I don't even know if I used that word right.
Let me ask you this.
I hope I used it right.
If you answer this yes, everything you just spewed is bullshit, and you agree with me. Let me ask you this. Do the Lions, should they upgrade the backup quarterback position?
They can. He's not a top 10 guy. So if there's Jeff, if there is a top 10, hear me out. Hear me out. I don't want to argue this. We have roster news to talk about. We don't need to argue.
No. Should they upgrade backup?
Listen,
yes
or
no?
If they can, yes. If there's a top 10 quarterback, hold on. If there's a top 10 backup quarterback available in the NFL and they can get him, you do it. If there's not, then he's like probably 15th in the NFL. And you roll with him. He's not bad. He's a good backup. I don't know what you're acting like he's like the worst backup in the NFL.
Booner, you're acting like I'm.
I don't know even why you're so frustrated right now.
Because you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I'm understanding. You're just not hearing me.
No, because you're yelling. You're trying to.
I'm not yelling. You're yelling. You're yelling. You're gaslighting now.
All I'm saying is they should upgrade the backup quarterback position, and you're throwing a hissy fit over it.
No, I'm saying they can, but they don't need to. It's not a necessity anymore. After the last 3 weeks, Kyle Allen won that job, and he made it known, hey, I can do this. 4 weeks ago, after the Hall of Fame game, I was hesitant. You were hesitant. Were you hesitant after that as well? After the Hall of Fame game? Yes or no? After those 2 picks,
my thought process.
Hold on. After those 2 picks, were you like, I'm out on Kyle Allen for sure now? Because after the next day after the show, you said cut him now. Am I wrong? You right?
No, you know what I said? Kyle Allen is pretty much what I think he is, which he's like, eh.
So you evaluated that game. Got it. Okay.
No, dude. That's his career, dude. In the regular season, dude. He does.
What do you say dude for?
Because that's what it is. I have regular season evidence.
I've never seen you so worked up. I'm just telling you what, I'm so calm over here right now, and you are absolutely fired up.
You're missing because you're.
I'm hearing your point. You want them to upgrade, which is fine. You're mad.
Agree. That's what you do. You argue and then agree.
I think it's obvious. Like if there's again, I'll say it again. I'm not mad. If there's a top 10 backup available, you make the move because he's not a top 10. If you can upgrade, you do it. If they can't, that's fine. I'm fine with Kyle Allen to kind of move forward with him if we have to. Now we have roster news to talk about. Relax. So take a deep breath. Can you give me a deep breath? I know it's your first day back. Deep breath, man. Let me see one.
Should have made the vacation.
Let me see it. Let me see a deep breath.
You know, they should. They should.
Give me one, Jeff. Let me see one.
No, I'm not.
Come on,
Kyle Allen. Love you.
All right.
No, you don't.
That's not fair either. All right. Can we? Because we were on the same page until 2 preseason games ago. So I don't know why all of a sudden I hate Kyle Allen and you don't.
If you can get Jameis Winston or you can go get a top 10 backup, you upgrade the position.
Then why are we arguing?
Am I stressed out? Am I stressed out about having Kyle Allen and I'm going to push the movement? No.
All right.
I think he could be fine.
That's okay. I cannot.
Eric Taylor yelled. He yelled in the chat, said, "Booner, shut up." Thank you, Eric.
If you made that bet, you better sleep in it.
Can we move on? I have a player I want to talk about, and you won't stop talking about this quarterback spot.
All right, go on. Bring it up.
Dan Skipper. I hope Dan Skipper somehow gets back on this football team. If people don't know, Dan Skipper, he got released today. That, and then Jeff, I tweeted it out. I think the Dan Skipper news, we could have done 153-man roster predictions. There was not going to be one prediction where I didn't have Dan Skipper on the roster. Not one. We could have done 1 million of them. I would have never had Dan Skipper getting released. I don't see why. Maybe there's an injuries thing going on with I don't know. I was shocked to see that though. Because all camp he was the backup tackle. Like it wasn't like he was like getting reps behind Jamarco Jones, or he was getting reps behind Manu, or he was getting reps behind other tackles. He was literally the third tackle on this roster all camp.
I think there's something going on there. He's going to be back. I read somewhere that they could potentially release him, move a player to this thing called injury designation, and then you could sign him back. So I think I don't think they're just going to let him go. I think he'll be back.
To be fair, with the release, the difference between, if people don't know this, the difference between released and waived. Waived is essentially if you're less than 4 years in the NFL, you get put on the waiver wire, and teams are able to pick. The player goes on the waiver wire. If you get released, that's 4 or more years in the NFL, which is Dan Skipper. He's essentially a free agent. He's able to go wherever he wants and sign a new deal with any team, and he's essentially can choose anywhere. So, and behind closed doors, there could have been a conversation with Brad and Dan saying, "Hey, we are going to release you." Or maybe they actually talked to him and said, "Hey, like if we release you, would you still come back? We need to make this move." And if he didn't say yeah, maybe they wouldn't have released him. And there's maybe a little handshake deal there to where, he's like, "Yeah, I'll come back and for less money or something." I don't know. I hope that's how it is though.
Yeah.
And off the top said Skipper can't be waived. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why he got released. He is essentially a free agent now, right? Like that's what my point is he's different from the guys that are getting waived. The waived guys go on a waiver wire. He's a free agent. So he's able to choose if he wants to come back to Detroit or if another team offers him more and he wants to go. But it's essentially up to Dan Skipper. Like if he wants to come back on the practice squad or if they move someone, like we said, or like you said, Jeff, I think I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happened.
Yeah, like CT Squid. Have you said they have a source that told him Skip had an MRI? I think it's probably that situation where he'll get brought back and it'll be like an move to an injury designation. They sign him back. Like he'll be back in some form. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't see him leaving. I don't see them wanting him to leave. I don't see Skip wanting to go anywhere else. I wouldn't look too much into it right now. I think he'll be back. So he's probably hurt. They're probably going to bring him back, and that's it. I don't think I'm not.
Oh, dude, it would be heartbreaking if Dan Skipper wasn't in Detroit.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to worry about right now. They did cut some other players. I have the list right here. It's actually on Doc's website, SI, and I have a list of some of those guys that they cut. So they started the day off with Hendon Hooker at 355, or actually 220. They released Anthony Pittman. They actually released Boodle, I think, last night or yesterday. Yeah,
that was an injured release, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so that started off Anthony Pittman, Hendon Hooker, Tom Kennedy. He'll be back in the practice squad though. Agude, he'll probably be back in the practice squad if he's not re-signed or signed elsewhere.
Ian Kenley was a big one, to be honest. I thought Ian Kenley was going to have a chance to make the roster, and him and who was the other safety, Jeff, that me and you always talked about?
Well, it's Strickland. I always thought Strickland was going to have.
I don't think Strickland got released yet. So
yeah, I thought he was going to have the spot.
There's another safety that got released. We can keep going through this. That's my bad. Mason Miller.
Yeah, Mason Miller. There's Dan Skipper. Jackson Meeks.
Do you want to have this convo?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just, and I said this would happen. I mean, I gave my opinion on it. I thought they were going to keep. They were going to keep Dominic Lovett.
Yeah.
Because of what he can do on special teams. He's a great gunner. He can return kicks. I think they want Jackson Meeks back on the practice squad. I think he'll get picked up though elsewhere. But yeah, I I don't want to. I think he's had a hell of a preseason, and I really do like what he brings. But I think they have guys that kind of bring what he bring. They bring to the table what he brings. They don't have like Khalif Raymond type of guys. They only have him and Dominic Lovett. They have these big body playmakers. Like they have multiple of those guys. I think that's just why it didn't work out. Doesn't mean he won't get a job elsewhere or come back, but this doesn't surprise me that they went Dominic Lovett over Jackson Meeks.
I'll be honest though, like I'm gonna pull this article up because I thought this was interesting, and the doc actually texted us this morning about what's the date today, the 25th, because he put out an article today, Jeff, and I actually thought with the article that got put out, it was essentially the snap count of the games of the preseason game. And I know going into the game, it felt like there was a battle with Dominic Lovett and Jackson Meeks. And I thought Jackson Meeks was ahead of Lovett in the battle based off of everything that we saw. And when I saw the snap count this morning of the Saturday preseason game, the wide receivers, it was Dominic Lovett played 65% of the offensive snaps, 24 snaps. Jackson Meeks played 24 snaps to 11 snaps. So when I saw that, I feel like the logical process is they want to see more of Dominic Lovett to try and win that job. Or like at that point, Jackson Meeks already won the job and they were just like, here we go. Like, we'll give Dominic a chance, but Jackson Meeks got that job locked. He has it locked up. I was dead wrong. I was actually shocked to see Jackson Meeks didn't make the roster. So I don't know. Maybe, and you know what? This actually might end up being the thing. Like Dominic Lovett probably will make it. I still think there's a chance that they keep 5 and they just do Tesla as the last one. And if they, obviously there's still, less than 24 hours for them to release them or waive them. Maybe they both still get waived, and then they just, whoever ends up making it out of waivers, they keep on the practice squad. But I don't see Jackson Meeks I see him getting picked up, especially by a team that's not great and has a couple spots open. And if you're looking for young players, like he's a great young wide receiver.
It's like Isaiah Williams. Remember Isaiah Williams got picked up by the Bengals.
Yeah.
These guys that get cut, they're going to get picked up. Like Jackson Meeks will get picked up somewhere else.
So I feel like there's still a chance though with the Lovett thing. I think there's still a lot of players that still need to be let go. He was
waived, so he could be. Some team will get him.
Yeah. So it sucks. I think that should have been your keep though. To be honest, I think you had a better chance of getting Dominic Lovett out of the waiver wire than you did with Jackson Meeks personally. So I don't know. That was a disappointing one to see today, to be honest.
They also cut Nick Whiteside, Eric Hallett, the other
shout
safety.
out Saginaw Valley. Yeah. Eric Hallett, that was one I was talking about. Yeah, I think Nick Whiteside will be on the practice squad too, Jeff.
Yep. I agree with that.
He had a hell of a camp, and the fact that I thought he had a chance to make it. So I'm sure he'll be on an NFL roster or a practice squad this year.
Luke Barku, Gunnar Oaks,
good dude.
And then they waived Jacob Sailors.
That's your guy.
The running back Jacoby Keeney James. They waived him. Waived Deion Jackson. They parted ways with Nate Lynn. And here they got rid of some defensive linemen here. Nate Lynn's gone. Broderick Martin's gone. Miles Adams gone. 3 defensive linemen, and then Zach Johnson, offensive lineman, who they just released about an hour ago almost.
You want me to go?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that bottom one.
You cut some DNs and D linemen.
I think the craziest one, if I'm just being honest, me and you had the conversation before we went on vacation of who we had locked into the roster. We never even questioned Nate Lynn. He had such a good camp, and every game he was like all over the field. I know it's like, hey, you don't want to put too much account into that, as you say, Jeff, but Nate Lynn, it felt like Nate Lynn was I'm not going to say a lock, as close as you could get to it though. And I tweeted it out right before the show. Nate Lynn getting cut makes me believe that Zadarius Smith is going to get signed to this roster within the next 48 hours.
Whoa.
He felt like he was a lock on this roster. So if they went on and moved on from a Nate Lynn, they obviously have an upgrade coming in for him. And I think it has to be Zadarius Smith. Has to be.
It's the old Zadarius Smith alert. This is take 15, I think, in the last 2 months.
I've hit so many Zadarius Smith takes, dude. At some point, you would think one of my takes on him would just hit.
Yeah, one of these have to. It's not even just you. All of them. I mean, we're all we're analyzing Cash Doll.
Which I think he was on her story again today. It looked like they might have been in Detroit and he had got her flowers and they were in the car. So I think listen, I think the next 48 hours, I'm telling you, Jeff, Nate Lynn gets cut, Zadarius Smith will be in.
Shaheen says Nate Lynn, 90.5 at the highest PFF rating of all Lions in preseason.
He literally, Jeff, this is the crazy thing. He had one of probably the best preseasons when it comes to training camp and games. It felt like out of a lot of these guys, most of these guys.
I thought.
What?
Doesn't that mean he should have stayed?
What do you mean?
Performance. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. I thought I had him in on the roster. When you perform in the preseason, you get in. I thought he performed.
Right.
Hendon Hooker didn't perform. I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
No, I'm just saying that preseason's not everything.
You say that. You're the one saying that. I take account into it. I actually evaluate and watch. That's why I said Kyle Allen was in and Hendon Hooker's getting cut. Because some reason you just refuse to put any sort of stock in preseason.
Should have been the unquestioned 53.
Agreed. Are you? I know this is your first day back from vacation.
No,
you haven't listened to one thing I've said.
They don't just look at only preseason. They look at everything.
But that's why I'm saying Zadarius is coming back. Nate Lynn was probably he's going to be one of the best players cut on this roster. He was probably the 54th man.
Poor Nate Lynn, man. I know he was. Listen, in practice, they've been talking highly about him. So
even Miles Adams got cut. Miles Adams probably was like the 60th guy. He was like right there. I felt like Miles Adams had a good camp. Maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? I'll say it. Hand up. You want me to say it, Jeff? Since you waited probably 2 years too late to do it for Hendon Hooker, I'll say it 2 years late for my guy, Broderick Martin. I was wrong. I thought Broderick, when he lifted that four-wheeler or whatever he did, that trailer, I was all in on the guy. He is so far out, man. That was one of the worst takes I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, well, they didn't cut Ukwu yet, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, even with Ukwu, though, like they've cut multiple edge rushers. They cut Agude, they cut Nate Lynn, guys that were one of the last spots in.
Why not?
And by the way, count how many of these guys there are real quick. Want to count them?
D linemen?
No, players in general. Because if people are like, well, Ukwu hasn't yet, this guy hasn't yet. Count how many there are on this list right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
19. We have to get to like 36, I think it is. So like we're barely halfway. We're like just halfway. So for people that are like, well, this guy didn't get cut, this guy didn't get, there's still going to be 15 guys cut. We just haven't seen them yet. And Dan had mentioned today it's going to come in throughout Monday and then Tuesday as well.
They still got Keith Cooper Jr. out there.
Again, these guys are still there. There are almost 20 cuts still to go. So there's a lot to go. Peter Van Lin. I'm approximately. I'm not saying exact here. That's what I'm saying. You still have a handful of there's still a lot.
Yeah,
to
there's
go.
still more.
I don't think we can throw out names yet of like this guy until we see the exact.
Paul in Orlando, appreciate the $5. We appreciate you for tuning in, my friend. Nobody, thank you for the $2. A shout out to my girl Kay. She listens with me unwillingly. Shout out to Nobody.
Is that Kay Adams?
You know what?
Nobody's like that.
You got a real one, man. Well, she's watching Sports Talk with you. That's awesome. Love that. Appreciate the $2 as well. But Boone, you're not wrong on that. There's still going to be a ton of guys that get cut. That that we can talk about, like Ukwu. We can talk about Keith Cooper Jr. I actually agree with you that I think the likelihood of re-signing Zadarius, you're like, people can say, oh, here we go. I don't think it's dead yet. All right. I don't think it's dead yet either. I think it's still very much alive. They cut some defensive linemen. There's got to be you got to have, there's still an opportunity there. I mean, who do they have on the defense on the edges, really? Davenport, Aiden, AQM.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? You ain't got much there, to be honest with you.
The thing is, it's like I'm an Ukwu guy. I've been a Ukwu guy for 2 years now, Jeff, since he came last year. And Ator put in there Agude as well. Agude already got cut. Mitchell Agude did. But I'm a Ukwu guy, but I think Nate Lynn had a better camp, and I think he was better than Ukwu. I would have probably picked Nate Lynn over Ukwu. So that's where I think like Ukwu, there's still a chance he's gone. That's why I'm like, they have to bring someone in. There's no way from cutting Nate Lynn. That was like, to me, that was the wild card.
Yeah, poor the Ukwu. Yeah, I don't think he ain't clear either. So he's a guy that he's not going to be. Can
we just put this together, Jeff? The reason we had Hendon Hooker getting cut, right? Not keeping 3 quarterbacks was because we're like, you need to have more depth on the offensive defensive line. So they cut Hooker today, right? He gets waived. And then some of your guys that we thought on the D-line and O-line that were going to be here, Dan Skipper and Nate Lynn, both get waived or released. So it's like they're obviously like, listen, let's stop playing dumb and being stupid. They're obviously they have a plan. They like, there's someone that's not on this roster right now, maybe a couple people that they're planning on bringing in, whether it's like trade or a different team or it's Zadarius Smith. Something's happening because the guys that we had, Jeff, like they're cutting them, the depth guys, unless they just evaluated all these guys way differently than we all did in camp, which would be shocking. Not saying we're geniuses, but
what'd you think of this tweet? Lions fan report. Brad Holmes had the most generational first 2 rounds and the most forgettable draft after that. So it was the 2023 NFL draft class. Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack in the first round. In the second round, Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. And then after that, it was Hendon Hooker and Broderick in the third round. Both were cut today. Colby probably cut as well. And then Antoine Green, who's not on the roster. So these next 4 picks, none of these guys will probably be on the roster. One of them's not, but the other 3 probably won't be as well.
I saw.
What do you make of this? Is it fair to criticize this draft despite hitting on the first 4 picks?
I don't know. I saw a quote tweet of that Nolan, who I had on the show last week. And I thought that was probably encapsulated how I felt about it, where he just said, hey, like any GM in the NFL would die to have a draft like this, where you get basically 4 Pro Bowlers essentially in one draft. And yeah, it sucks because you lose like 2/3, you missed on all that. I'm not like, give me my torch. Brad was terrible. Like, no, honestly, I don't care. It's whatever. It's part of drafting. Like he's done 5 drafts now. And that's like that four kind of pick stretch was his worst 4-pick stretch out of 5 drafts. So it's like, yeah, most GMs are going to have stretches like that. Thankfully, in that same draft, he drafted 4 starters and essentially Pro Bowlers / all pro players. So I'm not mad about it. But I mean, like I hate the last year's draft worse than this one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the fact that Brad found 3 all-pro players caliber, and then Jack, I think, has that potential as well. So if you want to go 4 potential all-pro talent players, then that obviously makes the rest of the draft. I mean, they could have drafted me and you after that.
I would have been fine with it.
It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I think it's very fair to say, I prefer if they hit on one of the 3rd-round picks between Broderick and Hendon, but that's just my preference. Like to have 2 guys bust it completely and hold on, stay with me, and not make the roster in their 4th year. That's a little disappointing. Like they just don't make the roster at all. But yeah, am I going to criticize the draft?
I mean, to your point, you're like, I would rather not have 4 busts, but like, yeah, anyone would rather have
3rd round. I don't care about Colby and Antoine.
Just say like we would rather have 0, right? Like I think that's the obvious statement as a fan and someone who covers a team. Yeah, 3rd rounders, I agree. I mean, I'm interested to see, and I would love to do the kind of the deep dive into it and looking at some of the top GMs and 3rd-round picks, let's say in like a 5-year span. Because when I look today, like Brad Holmes is hitting at like a 50% in the 3rd round, which in the 3rd round, like you would hope the 1st round you're hitting at a very, very high rate. Same with 2nd, and then 3rd probably drops down more once you get to that 3rd, 4th, and then the 5th, 6th, 7th. So like a 50%, I don't know if a 50% hit rate in the 3rd round is good. Like I guess I have to go around to other GMs to kind of compare to see how like a guy like Howie Roseman does in the third round consistently. How you know what I'm saying? Like different guys like that, I would be interested to see. But I don't think like a 50% hit rate feels good in the first round. Not great, but just okay. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brad's an excellent. I mean, he could identify talent. I think it's just I just think the first 3 rounds in an NFL draft are really the only rounds I care about. I think after that, it's just my opinion. I'm talking about in general. After that, like Amon-Ra in the 4th, I think that's amazing. Puka in the 5th, that's amazing. Like you can hit on these late picks, but usually in the NFL, those 3 rounds are usually like those. I mean, what was Hendon? He was a 3rd round pick, but he was a 68th overall player. You know what I'm saying? Like a top 68 player in the draft. Usually you still land good players. 68. Broderick, I think he was more, what was he, 96? Okay, you're getting the top 100 players. But I believe if you could pick within the top 100 of an NFL draft, like I think you should hold those to a certain standard. Not that you have to hit on every single one, but I'm just saying, you look at those picks like, hey, man, like you're going to have chances to get some decent players. So, and he did that. I mean, he got 4 really good players. So it definitely balances out. I don't think anyone's going to give a shit about Hendon Hooker and Broderick because of those 4 players, obviously. But it is a little unfortunate that, like Hendon Hooker couldn't even be a backup. That sucks. And Broderick Martin, he just couldn't lay off the Jets pizza. And then eventually he got into shape and it just didn't work out. So wish those guys nothing but luck, but that sucks. All right. That's brutal. You did want to mention, I saw last week, what the hell are we doing here, by the way? Trey Hendrickson just resigned for a year with the Bengals, right?
Yes, he did.
So why was it even a discussion to trade Brian Branch for Trey Hendrickson? And why I'm kind of thankful that I was not here for that conversation. Because that is dumb. And I know, okay, so he got signed for $30 million. All right, then you know what? Let's just take it away. Take it away, Boone. I'm bringing it up because I wanted to actually I wanted to mention it.
What about it?
It's just stupid. I mean, what? I don't understand why people. Adam says whatever serious discussion send Branch to social media. Okay,
it was just Mike Valeni who just like doesn't really. And I have this opinion with some people in media, and you know what? I really don't care. I think people just say stuff without actually like being like, hey, is this realistic? Like, hey, what can I get people to click and listen to our show about? And that's what that situation with Brian Branch felt like last week. Like people just being like, hey, what if we did this? Like it from the jump. And this is what I've gotten so many arguments with people for about the Trey Hendrickson stuff. And the same thing with the Micah Parsons thing. None of it's realistic. And yes, I get it, Jeff. Like we're in the media and like we have to have those types of things. Can we at least be like, is there a point where it's like, hey, let's have realistic conversations still at this point? Like there was never going to be a conversation about Brian Branch ever being moved, especially for Trey Hendrickson. And even if you did, like you're going to have to pay Trey Hendrickson. And I know he only got this 1-year deal and he's going to play on it, but next year he's going to become a free agent, right? Like that's going to happen. Good for him. He is never going to play anywhere else besides Cincinnati unless he was getting $40 million a year. It was never going to happen. The only team that he was going to play for if it was under $40 million was the Cincinnati Bengals from the jump, right? Like if I'm going to stay home and I'm going to play for less than 40, I will do it for the team that I've been playing for the last 6-7 years. So like that's the only realistic thing. Yes, yeah. Is it real that like Trey Hendrickson would help this team? 100%. You probably win a Super Bowl if you had Trey Hendrickson and Aiden Hutchinson. Is it realistic? No. Like there's a 0% chance it was ever going to happen. And at the same time, like you're trading the best safety in the NFL for a guy you're bringing in when you already have a player at that position that's better than him, and you have to pay that guy $40 million as well. So it's like you're getting screwed both ways. You're losing one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and you're bringing on a guy that's in his 30s and paying him a bag. And now you have 2 players at the same position you're playing over $40 million for. I had to talk about it last week on the show. It was one of the most unrealistic.
Yeah,
it made me mad. I can't stand listening to those conversations.
Yeah, I love Mike Valeni. That was just a pointless conversation to bring up. There's no way they were going to trade. I get it, trying to think of something different, but that was you can't. That's never going to happen. I mean, you're not trading Brian Branch. I do want to ask you though: is there any players that you have in mind that you're maybe surprised haven't been cut yet, or players that you think are on kind of the cut watch still? Because I think Colby Sorsdahl, I know we just talked about, I want to go back to that draft. Colby Sorsdahl is not free.
Colby's on the IR, done for a year, done for the year.
It's unfortunate, and I'm not. I don't want to say. I don't want to say anything.
That was the most not.
I don't want to say anything disrespectful, but he's lucky he's on IR. I will say that because he would be cut in a heartbeat. Now there is. He hasn't gotten cut, right?
He got put on the IR.
Okay,
so he's out for the year, anyways.
Okay, well then that's fine.
It's essentially getting cut, but he's going to be back next offseason.
Done, and then he'll
be battling next year.
I would say Colby Sorsdahl, and then the other player I did want to bring up would be, which we already kind of discussed, but I think they're going to cut more defensive linemen. I honestly think they keep Keith Cooper over Isaac Ukwu.
Okay.
If they're going to keep defensive linemen, I know he's an interior guy, but they're going to bring Josh back, and Josh, they play a little more on the edge, even though he's probably more of an interior guy. Because I think they re-signed Za'Darius, but I think they really like Keith Cooper's versatility. I think they really like him. So I'm curious what happens with like those guys, like Ukwu, Keith Cooper. Obviously, you just answered my Colby Sorsdahl question, and then I want to see what they do with that linebacker room. This is more specifically if they keep Cunningham, which obviously we talked about before.
Yeah, you would think, right?
We had our roster projections, and we went through and talked about all the guys we think will be here, and some of those rooms were a little packed, but I think they'll keep Cunningham as well, because while Rodriguez is out, but Keith Cooper didn't have a great preseason either.
Are you saying Trevor Nowaski's in?
Yes, I do.
I love that. He looked good, by the way. And Brad Holm, no, it wasn't Brad. Chris Spielman was on the broadcast, Jeff, on Saturday, talking about Trevor Nowaski and pumping him up. Linebacker talk there, and that's why I was like, all right. When I heard that, I was like, all right, there's no chance Trevor gets cut. But yeah, I think Zach Cunningham's not in. I would think. I think that's like a position group that they're like, we can have 6 or 7, because those guys too, like Trevor Nowaski, you could throw him on the edge if you want to. Like that was primarily, he was like the Sam last year. So it's like you can move him around. And they actually talked about Saturday that he's been playing off ball all preseason, and they've been trying to work him into that. So I could see that. I could see that happening. I'm interested. I think the biggest one that you said, what am I trying to Blake? The defensive lineman, Keith Cooper. I think he's going to end up being in. If Nate Lynn got cut, I think Keith Cooper's in.
Yeah, they like him. I don't know. He didn't maybe have a monster preseason, but they like him. They like what he can bring. They like his size.
Pat O?
Yeah, Pat O, another one. And someone just said that Meeks got picked up by Minnesota, which I just checked. I don't know where you're getting that.
I don't know if they can pick guys up yet. Yeah, I don't think you'll find out for another like 48 hours, because it has to go through waivers, and
yep.
There's a lot that goes with it. See, like this, Jeff. So okay, real quick. I guess it has something to do with the roster. The Kenny Pickett thing, like the backup quarterback. Would you have given up a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett on this roster?
I do. I think Kenny Pickett's he's better than Kyle Allen. I don't know if Kenny Pickett's probably the one I would go get personally. So no. I think he's better than Kyle Allen, but I don't think I wouldn't trade for him. No.
A 5th round pick. Yeah, that's kind of my point with the moves with that backup quarterback spot. It's just like, I think it has to be a top 10 guy to really give the assets up to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's ridiculous, Purple Prince. I don't know that I wouldn't make a trade for. He's not better than Allen.
I don't know. This is that conversation earlier where we were getting a little.
It's like I'm not even going to argue with you about it. It's just like I
was kind of pick a guy. I probably would rather have Kenny Pickett.
World beater. It's like, what do we like?
It's a backup, man.
It's like, dude, Kenny Pickett, like really now Kyle Allen, apparently like not you, Boone, but apparently there's people out there that think Kyle Allen's like this elite backup. I don't know where this is coming from. Not you.
Okay, I'm saying like, I think he's like, let's say 15 to 20th backup in the NFL, and that means you can upgrade.
Yeah, like Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny Pickett's a great quarterback, but like, whatever. I'm not even going to fight that fight. It is.
I mean, I'm just going down a rabbit hole with this backup quarterback thing. Is
Yeah, and then Purple Prince proceeds to mention that he got benched and then passed around the league, but then argues Kyle Allen, who's been passed around the league. Like, anyway. All right, let's just move on. This is going nowhere. I'm going to argue about this for the entire show. Anyway, and then shout out to Adam as well. Yeah, and some of these comments are just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, all right, let's just move on. Let's talk more about the roster. Appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Jesus, dude.
If you're tuning in, if you're tuning in for the first time, please hit that subscribe button because we will be covering.
What a comment.
We will be covering obviously the final roster cuts and everything all week, and previewing next week's regular season game, which I am fired up about. So hit the like button on the stream. We have 500-ish people in here, close to 600. So hit the like button and support the show. All right, so do that, and we would appreciate that.
I can't believe, man, you came back from vacation and you just heated instantly about Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker. Just what a...
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, man. You know, a lot of built up aggression. I'm just waiting to have a show so I can release it. That's it.
Jesus. All right, bro.
Shout out to Adam.
Shout out Adam, man.
Apparently, golfing does not calm you down. That's just never. Yeah, I do need a new vacation. I think I'm gone, and no, I'm kidding.
Jeff's gone. By the way, Jeff is off the show tomorrow through Friday.
Yeah.
I will be in the whole week again.
Yeah,
it'll be just a Booner. It'll be the week of Booner part 2 right away.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I am out.
Yeah, and I will say, Adam said it like it's not a vacation when you suck at golfing. It's probably just more frustrating golfing as much as you did, and it's like you're
played pretty well out there. I was out playing pretty well. You know, I was inebriated, but I played pretty well out there. I will say.
Inebriated, what a word.
You know, I played pretty well out there. It was scrambles, but you know, we held our own. I held my own out there. All right, had some nice shots. It was fun.
Congrats, man. We got to golf here because I want to see if your game got a little better.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Do you think if you would have golfed solo once that you would have broke 100?
I don't know. I think I would have got close. I always am close. I just never quite. It's like Hendon Hooker. I just never quite get over the top. You know, it's just. I put my all into it. Just didn't happen. Lions Rumble 81. Appreciate it. Appreciate the $5. Great stream, fellas. Here's the Monday. The cuts and the grit and the grind. You're absolutely right. And we appreciate you for the $5. All right, Boone, let's get back to the roster. We'll get to other things later in the show as well. You know, you have your power rankings, which you still have to show me, which I don't know what to expect out of these power rankings. I have not seen them. I don't know what they look like. I am curious.
You didn't see it last week at all?
I didn't see your power rankings, no.
All right.
So we could talk about that. We got the ESPN, the top 100 list.
Yeah, I want to bring this up too, just because with the Edge Room, I think this is something that people need to know. And you were actually gone when the news came out. J-Mel said, Booner, have you discussed your Ahmed bet with Jeff's injury? So me and you had a bet, right? I want to propose this. There's a lot of people tuned in right now. We did have a bet that it was a pizza bet for a pizza. That if Ahmed gets 4 sacks, he has to get 4 more, I win. 4 or less. So if he gets 3.5 or less, I buy you a pizza. I think the man, if he's on IR at any point, I think it's voided, Jeff, and I think that's fair. I think it's like ESPN. If a player's out, they're going to void the bet in the game. Is that fair or no? Or is that part of it? Either way, I understand.
Yeah, I agree.
But there was an update while you were gone with Ahmed. He's not getting surgery on his pec injury. It's something that just can heal. So obviously, if he got surgery, he's probably out for the season. No surgery. The guess is, and when we talked to the doc about it, the guess that's going to happen with him is he potentially makes the roster, or right away he just gets put on IR. And if you get put on IR during training camp, it's the season, I believe. If you get put on IR after training camp, it's 4 weeks. So I think he's going to get put on IR for a 4-week span and then potentially be back, at some point throughout the season. So he's not out for the year. He's just, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Now imagine this scenario. He comes back and gets 4 sacks. Still,
I want my pizza.
Oh, come on.
We'll play it by ear, to be honest. More so if he does come back, let's say week 5, I would say the bet's still on. But if he comes back like week 8 or 9, it's like,
want to see how he looks. You're like,
no, not even how he looks.
No,
I think it just more so depends on when he comes back. Like, what if he came back week 10? I'm like, no, we don't. It's over. We're not doing
I feel
it.
like it's over. Then he gets 4 sacks in like 6 games.
If that happened, I would back down. I'd say, you know what?
Okay,
No.
all right. No, I'm kidding, by the way.
But if he comes back week 5, I would be like, I'm still in on this bet.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Ahmed, man. That sucks. You know, at least he doesn't have to have surgery, but that's still unfortunate. It just makes this whole like Za'Darius thing make even more sense. Like the injuries, the guys they cut. I mean, it just makes too much sense to bring him back.
Yeah.
You have to give anything up to get him. You know, you just go grab him. So hopefully that everything works out for Ahmed. It sucks happening preseason, but he's gonna just. The only thing I think sucks for him is he'll just miss a lot of those reps. I think that's what really sucks for him, but he'll be good. Shaheen says prorate the sack total based on the games played. Oh no, we're not.
We could actually. Hey, I don't hate that.
Like
do some math
in 2
here.
games and gets a sack. What are you going to do the math through the entire season?
Well, I mean, if he played in 17 and I said 4, that's how many?
That's about 4. 1 every 4 games.
So then we just somehow do the math. If he plays in like
4
8.
games, gets 1 sack. It's like,
yeah, I think that's fair.
Oh, come on, this guy. I respect it. Negotiation, I respect it.
We'll think about it. We have 2 weeks until the season.
Yeah, I still got that bet with Coach Walk. The receiving yards, JMO, Amon-Ra.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
So I still have that on the table as well. So we'll see how that one works. But all right, what do you want to do now, Boone? Can I see these power rankings, or you want to talk more about the roster? Which direction are we taking here?
Hey, it's up to you. I'm you know what? I'm actually I just thought about I'm along for the ride today. I'm having a great time. I'm having a blast actually. This is a fun show. It's good to have you back.
I kind of want to see your power rankings.
Okay.
I kind of want to
see if I can pull them up. I still have them here.
So this is you did a top 10 list, top 10 NFL teams.
I did my top 10 power rankings for
heading into the season.
Start of the NFL season. Yep.
Okay.
I think it went well. A lot of people actually, and you know what? I typically sometimes for the people in the chat, I don't usually get the benefit of the doubt. Usually people just will see anything that I do and be like, this is the worst list of all time. There were a lot of comments that were like, this is actually a good power rankings. Like you've done well here, Booner. And I thank you very much.
Okay. Then I'll see this. I don't know what to expect. I would assume the Lions are probably 1 or 2. But
they're not.
Okay. All right.
All right. Come on now.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. All right, let me see this. So Booner's power ranking.
I'll say this too, just for people who are here. And I'm gonna do the power rankings for people who are here for the roster news. I'll throw out there. Maybe we do like a roster mailbag here in a little bit. If people who are sticking around, we'll answer questions about the roster here.
Let's do it.
But all right, power rankings, Jeff. There's my 10. That's it. So number 10, and I'll say this, on the outside looking in, like the Chargers probably at 12, 11 maybe. I think I would have put like the Bengals. That would have been my 11. But at number 10, Houston Texans. Me and you, Jeff. Actually, no, you weren't there. You didn't get to see the Houston Texans in person for the joint practice. They're going to be really good. Like they have weapons now, and I know they have some weird like situations with Tank Dell. Stephon Diggs is gone. Jane Higgins looks good. Like they're Jalen Noel. They have Christian Kirk now. Like they have weapons, and they kind of rebuilt that line a little bit. And that defense, Jeff, I'm telling you what, I saw Will Anderson Jr. come off the edge versus Penei Sewell. And when I say like Penei fell, like got blown up, and Will Anderson got all the way to Jared Goff, strip sack, and me and Easy were there together and looked at each other and went, oh no. Like we were like, wow, this guy is good. And that's not even counting on the other side. They have Danielle Hunter. So it's like that defense is scary. They have one of the best corners in the game. They are stacked. This Texans team, they are stacked. That O-line is better than last year. So I had the Texans at 10. I think that's a perfect spot for them. 9, we know what the Broncos defense, Jeff, is. We're good with that. It's a solid defense. They've added weapons with Bo Nix, a new RJ Harvey at running back, one of the best O-lines in the NFL. Top to bottom, good. Rams, won't even get into that. You already know that. Me and you've had the Rams conversation a million times. The Bucks, I'm sticking with my Bucks thing. Last year, I was the only one to ride with the Bucks. I'm doing it again this year. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah, there's no, yeah.
They just keep adding, dude. Yeah, they just keep adding and keep adding. And Emeka Ibuka, probably going to be one of the best rookie wide receivers. Like, their defense, stacked as always. Like, they, top to bottom, they're going to win their division. They're going to have a chance to have a high seed in the playoffs. And they're going to be one of the best teams in the NFL. Number 6, the Commanders. When I had them at 6, everyone was like, well, Booner, they traded Brian Robinson Jr. Terry McLaurin's not going to be on the team. This was the one I got the most pushback for. Well, since then, Terry McLaurin signed a deal today, a 3-year, what was it, $91 or $96 million deal. Yeah. So like Terry's back. Brian Robinson was never going to work out. He was good, yes, but then they drafted a 7th round running back who's ended up being very good. And they obviously feel comfortable enough with him to move on. So their team is still stacked. They've added a bunch of players on defense. They upgraded the D line and went and got Laramie Tunsil, or the O line with Laramie Tunsil. They're good again. And I've said this before, Jeff, and I don't know if you agree with that. This whole sophomore slump thing that keeps getting thrown around, it's getting thrown around because of CJ Stroud, right? Like, how often did we hear that before the CJ Stroud?
Yeah,
we never really did. Like, I've never heard of it. Jaden Daniels is in such a different, like, CJ Stroud in his sophomore year, everyone got hurt on his team. He had no offensive line, and he had no opportunity to do well. Jaden Daniels has a better offensive line. He's 10 times the player as CJ Stroud, in my opinion. Like, you can argue Jaden Daniels is a top 6 quarterback, top 5 in the NFL. CJ Stroud, I would put outside of that. Like, to me, they're 2 different players. Like, Jaden Daniels will rush for 800 yards. CJ Stroud will not. So that's why I have them at 6. This is the top 5 was the one. I'll let you break this down a little bit, Jeff. I think this whole top 5 you can argue interchangeable. I do. I think with the Bills defense, I put them at the back because I think their defense is good, but they're still like, they can get better defensively a lot. And that's the team that outside the lines that I'm out here rooting for. I understand Josh Allen and that offense. They don't have the best weapons in the world, and they don't have the best defense in the world. So I put them at 5. 4, Kansas City, just want to see it. That's it. I just want to see it. They're still Patrick Mahomes, and they have their wide receiver core is crazy. Defense is good. I think the Lions, people why are they at 3? I just think the Lions are getting a little overlooked right now because of the coordinator thing. I think people are putting a lot of stock into the coordinator situation. The team from top to bottom, me and you have been to training camp how many times, Jeff? And it felt like every time we go there, the players that they have on the field, there is not another NFL team that puts at every position, that many like high level players on the field. Now, yes, the coordinators work out, and you have those players. That's the best team in football. That's it. It's like plain and simple. And then obviously the Eagles 2 and the Ravens at 1. I had the Ravens at 1 because that roster, I said it when we talked about quarterbacks and like pressure. That's the best roster Lamar Jackson's had in Baltimore to date. Secondary's insane. The D line's really good.
Yeah.
Offensive line's elite. You have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You add DeAndre Hopkins to Zay Flowers, and you have Rashad Bateman. You have Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Like, that roster is I think it's the best roster in football at the moment. And
they are stacked. I think
them, Eagles and Lions, they're like.
I would agree with that. I don't think this is honestly a bad list at all, to be honest.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't think this is a bad thing. You nailed this one, to be honest. I think the Texans being on there, I think you made some fair arguments for them. I know the O-line I'm still a little worried about, but you can't argue the defense. Can't argue the defense. That defense is stacked. They have defense. That's going to be a really good defense. And they have weapons, and CJ Stroud is still CJ Stroud. So, the sophomore slump thing, he didn't have an O-line. He regressed. I think Jaden Daniels, I'm not as much worried about a sophomore slump with him because of all the reasons you named, and because I also have him on my fantasy team. I drafted Jaden Daniels. So, we can't afford,
dude, I love that. That pumps me up, actually.
We can't afford a sophomore slump. So let's.
I think there's no way, dude. He's too. I think people put him and CJ Stroud at they're just not the same quarterbacks.
Yeah, well,
CJ Stroud is not like a Josh Allen or a Lamar or a Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's mobile, he can move, he can get out of the pocket and move. dude, he's not running. What did he run? How many yards did he rush
like
for?
mobility, yes.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think makes quarterbacks like that next level elite. That's why you have those top 4. Yeah, but Joe Burrow, you're still probably putting at like 3 or 4 because you're putting Josh Allen, Lamar, and Patrick Mahomes above them because they have the mobility. It's like
no, I get that, but I mean, I'll give you that. Like mobility, I guess it makes you a little better.
Yeah,
but Stroud is probably. I think he has that Joe Burrow type of. He has that a little bit.
Agreed. I think that's fair to say. But
yeah, he's got to prove it this year though. Got to go out and ball, man. That's what he's got to do. They didn't really give him a lot of help on the O-line. So, all right, we'll get to mailbag when it relates to the roster. If you guys have any questions, concerns, maybe just ideas, throw that out in the chat. We could talk about it. We don't have the cuts all done. They'll probably be wrapped up. You'll probably see more later. I'm checking constantly to see if anything comes out. I haven't seen anything as of yet, but tomorrow I'm sure we'll have more cuts. We got through like 18, 19 today. So roughly half of the cuts are already done.
I thought there would be more.
Yeah, they're probably just going through it in waves. I know that's a ton of players to meet with and be like, hey, you're cut. It's probably tough. So they're probably like, all right, let's just get to the next tomorrow. I don't know if we can do any more of this. Noah says, what do y'all think about TA this year? I mean, I think we're all excited about TA. I don't think by the way, he played well in the joint practice. I was paying attention.
Yeah. No, TA looks good. I think he's going to have a big year. He looked good at the Texans one. I just think you just got to get out there. I mean, you didn't. Oh yeah, okay. So versus the Texans, Jeff, like DJ Reed and TA, they both were playing against Nico Collins, top 6 receiver in the NFL, and there were definitely. I mean, again, it's a top 6 receiver, so he was going to win some of those battles, and he did. But like TA and DJ Reed made some like big plays on him. TA had a massive pass breakup in the end zone versus Nico, like right at the start of practice, and it was like everyone at the facility, like it was right there, and everyone was like, "Oof!" And he went up and got it, Jeff. It wasn't like just
That's crazy.
He went up. They posted it. They did post it.
I'm really excited for TA. Piston Stock said, "What was your punishment for the Lions Collective, Jeff? Punishment for what?"
I did hear that they said they put you on suspension for being late that one day. That's why you were gone last week.
I have not. This whole last week, dude, I have not absorbed anything. Like that I made that a point. I was like, I'm not watching Lions stuff. I'm not doing anything. I checked on you, but I don't know anything about what happened.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
I really don't know. I don't know what happened on Lions Collective. I have to check it out. But I'll be back this week. I'll be back with the fellas. I had this vacation planned for months, and then we started Lions Collective, so it was a little tricky.
And you know what actually happened while you were gone too with like the roster, and this is why I think they might be actually considering some moves with this roster. Is Graham went down at practice when I was there with Easy, and it was like Easy. I looked to my left. It was funny, not funny because of the injury, but like all of a sudden I'm like looking to my left, and Easy's like on his knees in the stands, like dropped to his knees, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I looked up, and it was like Graham Glasgow on the ground, like laying there holding his knee. We all just like hearts dropped. But that moment, I think, made a lot of people realize that we don't have a backup center right now, and that's like an issue.
Yeah, that's scary, dude. You know, that's a scary position to be a little thin at for sure. Because Graham, I did see that report too. That I did see that. I just said, you know what, Jeff? Let's just not look. I just don't want to be pissed off on vacation. Let's just not look at this. I don't even know what happened. I don't know how bad it was. I don't know anything else. So I'm assuming it's positive.
Yeah, it's just short term.
Okay.
I think Justin Rogers reported that it was like a short term thing.
Because I don't need to. I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit right now, dude. Graham.
That was, and then I tweeted out, and I got into battle with Easy about it because Easy was like, it's not a big deal. And I was like, the injury potentially wasn't a big deal, but I'll tell you what, Jeff, like, I mean, we've been to 1 million. Okay, we've been there. He's laying on the ground. They're doing situationals, right? They're still playing in front of him. He's behind the play. And they're like, when I say like they're like playing with his knee, Jeff, like it was like they're grabbing his knee, like doing tests on his knee. Anytime an offensive lineman you see like some sort of knee test, it's not a good. Like you're sitting there going panicking a little bit. And Easy's like, no big deal at all. He walked off the field. Like I don't care if he ACL, you could walk off with ACL, MCL, whatever. If they're touching his knee, especially he's your starting center and you don't have a backup, come on now. Like felt like a big deal in the moment.
Adrian says, "Hey, Booner, it was nice to meet you at Lions Camp last week. Shout out to the All Grit podcast. Got to have you guys on as guests soon."
Let's go, Adrian. Yes, DM us. Shoot one of us a DM, and we can set something up. Yeah, Adrian. The All Grit podcast. The whole crew was there. That was cool to meet them.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part of I wasn't able to make the joint practice, but Booner held it down, man. I do enjoy those joint practices, but Adrian, shout out to you. There
was someone else, and I actually meant to get to it earlier. Someone in the chat that I had spoke with on Saturday. It's a good dude, but I lost the chat. It was a long time ago. I feel bad.
JJ says O-line is crazy. Skimpy, Decker, and Graham are old. Who are the guards? We got Sewell and who else? So Skimpy, I like that word, Skimpy, by the way.
Skimpy.
Decker and Graham are old. Who are the guards? Well, your guards are not old.
Who's Skimpy?
Skimpy, let me look this up because I haven't heard this one.
Is this Christian Mahogany?
Skimpy, inadequate, I guess, would be like a word for it. You know, not big enough.
Is that Christian Mahogany though? Like,
I don't know.
The Purple Prince said, "No way, Booner." No way. What?
Small.
Oh, I'm an idiot. You're saying the old line is crazy skimpy. I thought that was a nickname before Christian Mahogany.
No,
the whole time.
No, he's actually the opposite of skimpy. That dude's massive. And here's the thing. All right.
That's a tough moment for me.
He said the O-line is crazy, skimpy, Decker and Graham are old. Who are the guards? Okay, so the guards are young guys, right? You have Christian Mahogany and you have Tate Ratledge. Now you have Sewell. We got Sewell and who else? Well, that's part of having a young O-line is Tate Ratledge still has to prove himself. Christian still has to prove himself. Life without Frank Ragnow, you're going to have to adjust to. And Taylor Decker still has to kind of prove that he's probably a top 15 tackle at this point. Like there are question marks about the O-line, like I'm not going to sit here and say that they're a top 2-3 O-line in the league, but I think it's safe to say what we've seen in training camp, like just in practice and seeing consistently these guys play together is I've actually seen a lot out of Tate Ratledge. I really like, so I like him. I like Christian. He's been really good. And Graham, I get Graham. I'm a little skeptical a little bit. I want to see him, but Taylor Decker, I'm not too worried about. I think the O-line will be fine. I do. Depth. People have to understand, man. Offensive line depth is something in every team in the league. They suffer. No team has offensive line depth. It's hard. Like that's not a position. You don't have teams don't have 2-3 tackles they can play. It doesn't work. It's hard enough to get offensive linemen as it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's don't worry about who your backups are. Like you want ideal backups, but like no one has fucking good backups, man. I don't think that's as big of a deal as obviously you have people to fill in, but even the last few years we've seen how many guys step in and the O-line kind of stay at the level it was, right? Like you even saw Yodi. Who was it Yodi in the NFC Championship game, or there was Yodi
someone?
Played,
yeah, and honestly, Yodi's like probably your next up guard, and I think Yodi's pretty good. Like I don't think he's a bad backup either. And obviously he's not going to be at the level of a starter, or else he would be playing. But even like you think about that, like Miles Frazier, it's the same thing last year with Christian Mahogany. I think with Miles Frazier at some point is going to become healthy in the next couple weeks or month or so. And you're going to get a guy like Miles Frazier in, and that's going to be depth. So I don't think people need to worry as much about the depth side of things. I think the center position, that's why I thought, what's his name, Jeff? Tristan Colon. I thought he was a good depth piece. He started in the NFL for last season, and he's started at center with the Baltimore Ravens. I thought that was going to be your backup center, and you're going to be in a good spot. Currently, he's hurt, though, so no one really knows what's going on with him. He's probably a guy, hopefully, maybe makes this roster, and he doesn't go on the IR, and he's back week 3, 4, whatever, but he's currently down hurt as well. So that's where it's like, hey, if Tristan Colon gets back and you have Yodi, and then Miles Frazier comes back, I think you're sitting in a good spot more so offensive line-wise. Tackle would be more of a concern for me if Taylor Decker goes down. Skip is usually that guy. He just got released today.
Yeah, and tackle depth is hard as it is. So that's why when you do have a Dan Skipper who's played and you like him, it's very valuable because it's hard enough to get tackles as it is. I mean,
yeah, even if he's not like a great tackle, he has stepped in and has been good in spots. So he hasn't been the best, but he's gotten you through a couple games the last 2 years. So that's one I'm interested in.
What do you think of the comments with Manu? Mark Doyle, Manu is the only backup, so Dan and Brad believe in him. Shaheen says Manu isn't progressing at all. And then someone said, Peaceful Tim, Manu not getting it quickly. He's progressing like a turtle.
Yeah. I agree. I think it was going to always take time, a year or two.
Yeah, Lucas says Josh Simmons.
I don't hate it.
That's who he wanted in the first round.
I brought up to a guest last week, Jeff.
Yeah.
People haven't talked about it, but like 2 of your top 3 first round picks are getting talked about way more than your first round pick. And I'm not saying Tyreek's been bad. He's probably just been solid, but like people are like saying Tate's a starting guard. Like he is locked in and he looks really good. Isaac Tesla is out there making massive plays. He probably didn't even need to play in the last preseason game. He could potentially be your wide receiver 3 by the end of the year. No one's talked about Tyreek, man. And he's been good too. I don't want people to think I'm saying he's bad. Like he's been good. Just hasn't been talked about that much.
Yeah. I just think what he does at a high level, people aren't really
for sure.
Probably like stopping the run isn't sexy to talk about all the time, or he's not like he's not this guy that's going to get you like 10 sacks a year, so it's probably not highlight plays all the time. But I think it's fair. I mean, Isaac had an incredible another preseason game. He's just did the worm at Ford Field, which I saw that. That's just I mean,
he's had 3 touchdowns in 4 preseason games, and they weren't like wide open. He was like legit making plays, which is insane.
Yeah, he's nuts. He
just catches everything. It's nuts. It's like anytime you I could throw a pass to him and it could be the worst pass of all time. He's going to come down with it. And then after he's going to hit like Dougie for me or something. It's like, yeah, dude, let's go.
The worm is a crazy pull at home, man. To pull out the worm right away.
And that would just probably might have been one of the best worms I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, the worm is. I mean, I'm with Lucas. I didn't think he'd click that fast. I didn't think he'd be good this early, to be honest. I really did not.
I didn't either.
I really didn't think he'd be.
I don't think anyone did. I don't think Dan and Brad did. I think they both have said it.
Yeah, I mean, you thought this guy, he has a lot of traits you like, but he came out just
dominating.
Yeah, he's cooking in practice, cooking in these games. We got some more questions here. Ben Blue, what happened to Ratledge getting reps at center? I think it's just over, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, wouldn't you want to still give him some reps in case like Graham gets hurt? Like, what's like your plan if Graham gets hurt?
So listen, we can go down this rabbit hole all we want. That was like my point at the start of camp when remember the OTAs, it was all Tate.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Then they switched, and I was just like, at some point, and I get the Graham point. Like when I had Nolan on last week, he brought up the point of where like Graham's like, if I'm having all the responsibilities as a center, like calling out blitzes and calling out different schemes, like, and he's like, I'm doing that at the guard position. Like, just let me play center. Like that makes sense. I still think like you had to at some point work in Tate to get reps.
I think even if Graham's your center, which I think is the right call in year one, you still should have Tate. Like, which I don't know behind the scenes. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they are. Maybe he. I don't know what their plan would be if Graham were to get hurt. That's the only thing I would say is like Is Kingsley going to be the backup guy? Maybe Kingsley plays center or.
Well, yeah, probably Kingsley. I don't know how to say his last name.
I don't either.
Iguoquin. I don't want to.
I guess it would be Kingsley that would play center. I guess,
Yeah.
at this point.
He was the one that stepped in at Texans joint practice. He was the one that stepped in when he went down, was Kingsley.
Nick P says, we talking about the Chiefs blowing the doors off Jeff's team, the Bears?
Preseason.
Assuming you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I will take as much stock into that as I would the Bears. You see, like they won 30-something-6 against the Bills. Like I don't care.
I'm not worried. I'm not gonna.
You see Caleb against the Bills. If you watch that game, you'd think, "Oh my god, the Bears look so good on offense." I mean, it's preseason, man. It's like the Lions didn't win a single preseason game. You think I give a damn? No, I don't. I really don't give a damn. I don't.
Not worried about that. Do you know who they've cut so far? Have you stayed up to date on that?
No, I'm not staying up to date on that. I don't know who they've cut. I don't care who they've cut.
You kind of do. There's a little bit of you that kind of cares.
I don't care. Who gives a damn?
Let's look at who the Bears have cut. Come on, Jeff.
No, I don't know. We don't need to do that. We don't need to look and see who the Bears cut. We don't need to do that.
It's a good act. You're doing a good job acting. I love it.
I just don't care. Christian says he definitely cares. Okay, so yeah, thanks, Christian. Appreciate that. Nick P says Jeff already knows who they've cut. No, I do not. I do not know, and I do not give a shit who they've cut.
That's funny,
to be honest. But regardless, before we get to, by the way, any questions regarding the roster, please drop them in the chat and let us know your thoughts and concerns. Any questions you may have, players maybe that are on the what do you call it, the fringe of being cut?
Yeah.
Ask us. Before we get to all that, though, can I show you my fantasy team?
Yeah, real quick, too. Motown Sports asked, did Broderick Martin get cut? Broderick Martin did get waived today. He did. Him and Hendon Hooker, third-round draft picks, 2023, both waived. Oh, that's so funny, man.
All right, so I had a fantasy draft over the weekend.
All right. I mean, can you just screenshot it and pull it up? We can't do that.
Okay.
This guy just tried to show me his phone. Imagine like a text popped up.
Chat, please.
Ben Johnson text Jeff Iafrate.
Chat, I want you to grade my draft. I need an honest opinion, and if it's trash, just tell me it's trash. All right, you don't have to.
Do you want to do mine and yours? We can do both of ours and see who has a better team.
Yeah, I don't care. We can do that. Okay.
I'll send you mine.
All right, let me pull this up, and I can show you guys my draft. All right, so it's a 10-man league. I had the 10th pick, snake draft, so I had the 10th, and then I had the first pick in the next round.
Okay.
So I had the old back-to-back picks, which I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy that. I usually hate those, but I didn't really have a choice there, so it is what it is. But let me put this up so you guys can. All right, so this is my team. Amon-Ra St. Cloud. All right, so check this out. This is my team. All right, so you see this. All right,
can you zoom in a little? All right, they're all perfect. Jane Daniels, love it. Bucky, love it.
So I went at 10.
Wow.
I took Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, and then Christian McCaffrey was there. At the next, he was right there. It didn't matter. I could have taken Christian at 10. It didn't really matter. So whatever.
You got Bucky Irving that late?
I got
and Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, because I think my next pick, I went Bucky and Jaden Daniels. So I went Christian, Amon-Ra back-to-back, Bucky, Jaden Daniels.
Bro, what? You got Amon-Ra, CMC, Bucky, and Jaden Daniels. I think that's a great top four. And then you got Marvin Harrison as your 5th-round pick. I love this. And TJ Hockenson, probably a top 5 tight end in fantasy.
I got Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy, Steelers D, Harrison Buckner.
What about your bench? Because I'm interested with the Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy thing with the bench.
All right, let me see. I'll show you the bench. So the bench we have, I was told I have an old bench. I don't know if that makes any sense, but here's my
think
bench.
2 people with CMC, I think people are underrating what he's going to do. I told Mike this last Friday when he was on. Brian Robinson bench, Darnell Mooney out for a while potentially. Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen,
Yeah, Jalen Warren.
Andre Stevenson. Jalen Warren's probably your best. Oh, I like the Joe Mixon's out for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, like I have Brian Robinson.
You went long term.
McCaffrey, yeah.
Yeah.
Gets hurt.
Yeah, but the thing even with like, that's actually a very good move right there. But the only thing with CMC, I think a lot of people are saying like, oh, Christian's going to be. I told Mike I have a theory with Christian McCaffrey. He's an every other year guy. He needs a year off to have a year on.
Yeah,
and this is his year on.
Actually, I agree with that. Yeah, like last year, avoid him. This year, we're back.
Because last 2 years ago, everyone was like, "Don't get CMC," and he was going like 8th, 9th, 10th, and then he ended up being the best fantasy player. And then it's just like it's deja vu this year. It's literally deja vu.
I'm high on Bucky this year, man. I think Bucky just balls out.
I am too. I like Bucky Irvin. I sent you mine too in Slack too. I've sent my bench and starters. I don't know.
All right, let me pull yours up. So this is what pick do you have in this one?
I had the first overall pick. But all right. Context to this. This league, you get to keep 2 players every year. And there's no rules on who you keep. I know sometimes it's like if you draft them outside the second, you can't keep first 2 round picks, all that. This league, it's just like you can keep whoever you want. So my keepers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas. So Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Jeff. Is it good?
I like this, yeah.
Marion and Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas Jr., Kelsey. My big one, Malik. The fact that I have Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, and Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I think that might be the best wide receiver core in fantasy history.
No, that's nasty. Because then you have 2 running backs they're going to be starters. So those are fine. Amar and Hampton's a great one, and then Aaron Jones are both starters. So even if it's not like terrible running backs,
I got probably one of the best fantasy quarterbacks too because of
rushing TDs. Yep, and you have the Lions defense.
Defensive player.
That. It's gritty.
You see that defensive player? Robert Spillane, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, yeah, the defensive player. I always just go linebacker. They get the most
tackles. Yeah,
ETN said, "How did you get Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, and Malik?" It was a keeper league, and I kept Brian Thomas. So I kept Amon-Ra and Brian Thomas. First overall pick, it was between Puka Nacua and Malik Neighbors, and I just went Malik Neighbors. I think Malik's, he's gonna have a big year.
And then you have your bench.
Jordan Addison out a couple games, going to be good. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but Krasky Merritt,
starter.
Going to be a starter.
Well, him and Eckler, but yeah, he'll play.
J.K. Dobbins, I know they have R.J. Harvey, but J.K. is going to have a big year, I think, still. T-Mac, potential starting wide receiver.
He could be like a boom guy.
Yeah. Rome Odunze, I think, is a similar spot as T-Mac where he could have a big year. A lot of people are high on Rome this year. I didn't realize that until like this last week. And then obviously Thielen and then
Thielen
Rashad
could be
White.
Traded. So like that's a good one just to have. Like he could be traded somewhere else. And then you have Rashad White in case Bucky gets his knees, something happens, knee blows out or something. You got Rashad White.
Yeah.
So I like that. I always do that, draft backups late. I want to be the guy someone gets pissed off.
Someone, you don't want to like miss out on someone. I'm with you on that.
No, I like it. I thought you nailed this draft. Yeah. Bench looks great. J.K.
I'm pumped up. And dude, last year I had Josh Allen, Amon-Ra, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Thomas, Tyreek Hill. Like, dude, I had a stacked team and everyone just got hurt. Like Tyreek was out all year. Josh had a good year, but like my running backs, Jonathan Taylor missed half of the year essentially. And I just ended up getting last place somehow, dude. I've never been in last before. That was like my first time. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, this and by the way, we have a look at Caleb just tuned in. Attention everyone, draft Lad McConkey if you want to win your league this year. Yeah, I took Keenan Allen super late.
Dude, okay, it's trust circle. Let's act like no one's watching. Like Caleb's not listening. Justin Herbert play with Keenan. Like Keenan's gonna get targets.
He's
gonna take away a little from Lad. Lad's one of the best in the league, right? Top 15. Keenan coming back takes targets from Lad.
I took Keenan in like round 13, bro.
Yeah.
12 or like that's a good pick. Like he's just like, dude.
Lad's good, but like he just got some targets taken. Like it's not like Mike Williams. Like remember how like Mike Williams was originally there and he retired? Keenan Allen returning isn't Mike Williams returning. It's like Keenan Allen's gonna get 7-8 targets still. They love Keenan Allen there. And Justin's played with him.
Oh yeah.
Ladd will be good though. Ladd's gonna be a 1,000-yard receiver still, and like he's good. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about like fantasy in the first couple rounds,
And those are the only two guys that they're both going to get a lion's share of the carries. Like they're going to get a ton.
and they got Trey Harris too now.
Yeah, yeah.
So they do have weapons.
Nick Pieces Mailbag. I played in a 14-man league. Dude, I've played in that many. I played in a 14-man league one time. Oh man, you're slim pickings out there, man. I like the 10-man leagues personally. I
did a 14-man mock draft the other day at work, and it was just like
it's so brutal, dude.
I was looking at my squad after. I was like, this is, and I guess it's like harder. You got to think about it more, but
it is for sure harder. Nick P says, I played a 14-man league, drafted 4th in a snake draft. I have quarterback Murray and Stroud, running back Gibbs and Taylor and Jones, wide receiver Evans, Sutton, and Myers, tight end Kraft and Goddard, defense Ravens, kicker Bates. I like your running backs.
Yeah,
wide receivers
dude. How do you feel about this whole? I didn't draft any Bucs wide receivers because I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work with the Mecca Ibuka now. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
I was trying to get Ibuka in my draft. I couldn't. Someone took him.
Well, love him, but how does the shares go around? I don't know.
Because Godwin is out for a little bit. And then they have who else is out? McMillan, who I think Lucas actually hyped up last year. If I'm not mistaken.
We talked about Jalen McMillan a lot. I love.
Yeah,
Jalen
he's
McMillan
out for like the year. So Ibuka is gonna do it. He's gonna start in the slot for him and absolutely eat. He's gonna be so good. Who did what was the player? Someone called him Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think it was Baker. Like Baker, was it Baker?
I didn't hear that.
Or was it a defensive guy? I can't remember who said it, but someone on the Bucs said like the guy he reminds me of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's just like, dude, I don't know. I like that Lions players are kind of getting thrown into that. Like,
yeah, like people are starting to comp them. That's That's when you know you're good.
Yeah, but I love Ibuka, man. He's gonna be a stud. That's a Klotzy. That's an Ohio State Buckeye, but he is a dog. He is an absolute dog. Peaceful Tim. Any word on tight end 3? Zane Zylstra still in town?
I will say this. I'll go out on a limb. I think Shane Zylstra makes the team. Shane, like, he looked good in camp. Every time and I know people are like, oh, the game and everything. He didn't look bad in games, but in camp, like when Sam Laporta was down, Shane Zylstra was getting a lot of run with the ones as well with Brock Wright. It was those two. So I'd be shocked if he ends up not making the team.
Lucas also said, Mailbag Booner, how did Amik and DJ stack up versus Houston?
From what I heard, Amik, I think they both were fine. DJ Reed made some plays on Nico, which was big time. It sounded like, and again, it's hard. And Jeff, you were there for the Dolphins one. You can't see both things going on. Our defense is playing at the same time as our offense. Yeah, the defense is across the field. Like, you can't see. That's why the beat reporters split their teams up and they go boom and boom. So we were looking over there a while. From what I heard, and I talked to Nolan and everything, it sounded like DJ Reed had a really good day. And he did get beat a couple times, but it sounded like he had a really good day. I think Amik actually had an interception. So I think they both look really good. It sounded like there was positives. He said, from what I heard, he said that his colleague was watching the defense and said it was more so like 50-50 than it was like with the Dolphins, where they kind of won every possession, that they were going back and forth with them, which is expected. That's a really good offense that the Houston Texans have.
J Hart says Amik had a pick and DJ had
there it is.
And
J Hart was there as well, so he probably got to see some of the defense too. So I didn't see as much as the defense though.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
It was funny too, because every play, like a couple times, Jeff, we looked up. Easy and I were watching the offense, and we would look up, and there was 2 straight times we looked up, and it was Terrion Arnold pass breakup, Aiden Hutchinson sack, and me and him were like, dude, that defense dominated today. And then after, all the reports were like, it was 50-50, and we just happened to keep looking up when they were making plays.
Did he run into that with like the Houston Texans fan base? Was that a thing where they were like
no, I didn't have any issues. Yeah, I didn't have any issues. No, I tweeted out.
It was closer than you're reporting.
No. I mean, I tweeted out a couple things about it. Like, I tweeted out Will Anderson absolutely dominated Penei Sewell on a rep. and it blew up in Texan space. Like they all were loving it. Like, so I mean, I'm honest. Penix, I mean, man, I'm not gonna say he got pancaked, but
he got
Will Anderson handled it. Like it was like
Will Anderson, dude.
It's one of the best. That's probably the best tackle in the NFL. When Will Anderson throwing back, strip sack.
Man. They might have they have the best D line. They have the best edge duo in the entire league. I mean, they just do.
Yeah, now they don't have. Never mind. I was thinking Dolphins. Sorry, it's Kenneth Grant.
Where you have Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. That's insane.
It's nuts.
They're just not paying CJ so they can do that, but that's insane.
Yeah.
Lucas says, dude, Houston can make the bowl if their line is top half. Their offensive line's the only thing. And that's why I was, I was curious how Hutch did. You kind of talked about it, but I just want to see how they match up against that O-line, the Texans O-line.
Yeah. I would say I think Houston's good. I wouldn't put them like they're a really good team. Like that defense, I had them 10th in my power rankings.
Like
I still would. Yeah, I still want to put them in that top 5. Like the secondary was good, but like our offense was still cutting them up. Like Amon Ra was still like there was time like people were like, Derek Stingley's dominating them. It's like no, like Derek Stingley got beat by Jameson Williams for a 50-yard touchdown, and it was like yes, and then like Jahmyr Gibbs went on the outside and had it was a toss, and it was 1-on-1 with Derek Stingley, and Jahmyr Gibbs just and then outran him and scored a touchdown, and then the very next play he did it the other way, and it was like yeah, like they have good players. I still think it's like, hey, the Texans still got to put it together. And I don't think their O-line, like, they've changed it. But there was actually, like, Easy had a couple Texans fans DM him, like, asking what's happening with their O-line. Like, they don't even know. Their Texans fans are like, when they were doing their joint practices, they were trying to figure out who was playing left tackle. They were reaching out, asking people, like, who's at left tackle? So it's like, if you're going through that, like, you're probably not close to a Super Bowl team. Yeah, you're probably, like, you're a playoff team. It's just, you're not there yet. They're not a bowl team just yet. You got to see them kind of make a run, and then you can start calling them a bowl team. I think there's levels to it.
Yeah, I forget CJ GJ's over there.
He's out.
Yeah, he's out, but he's
yeah.
We'll see.
They have a squad, like player wise, they have names. It's just about like, can you put it together?
Yeah, which is fair. I was excited for that matchup. I know it would be better than the Dolphins, but that joint practice. I knew the Texans one would be good.
It was good, yeah.
Look at Caleb. Jags are winning that division. Yeah, well, I've been down there. I've been down that road, Caleb.
I mean, finishing top 4 he's like Lucas, they finished top 4 in the AFC back-to-back year. Like that's the easiest division to win in the AFC, right?
No, he meant top 4 in the AFC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you finish top 4, you win your division. So you're just have to beat
the last 4 teams in the playoffs in the AFC.
Did they win last year in the play? No, he's talking about like ranking wise.
Oh, like they didn't win. Record wise.
He's saying standings. No, he's saying standings, and it's just because they won their division, and that division with the Colts and Jags just are a disaster. So I'm not. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's not like. Again, the AFC has like the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs. I'm not saying like there's no way right now the Texans beat one of those teams. Like, or they have to beat 2 of those 3 teams to go to the Super Bowl. There's no way right now.
Yeah,
maybe they could beat 1 and go to the AFC Championship game. I just can't see a world they go on a run and beat 2 of those 3 teams. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, Nick P says Howie Roseman lost that deal, by the way, traded CJ to Houston for a guard they cut today. I think that just shows how big of a headache CJ is, honestly. I think they just wanted to get rid of him. I think that's what I believe. Yeah, I think the Lions learned that lesson. They learned that lesson 2 years ago. Yeah, it just didn't work, man. That's all it was. Lucas, here Caleb says Liam Cohen going to turn Trevor Lawrence into the man. Yeah, well, again, Caleb, I've been down that road. Still waiting on that. I've been a big Trevor Lawrence guy. Picked him to have an MVP vote last year. Was completely wrong, and I think Liam Cohen will help him. But I'm not pumping out Trevor Lawrence takes like that this year. I gotta wait and see. I just do. I do. Drop your mailbag question, by the way.
I just saw this alert. Front Office Sports put out, Jeff.
What's up?
Ohio State has put out that they are not letting Dave Portnoy enter the stadium for the Buckeye season opener versus Texas this weekend.
Dave just isn't out and fucking. They just don't. Sometimes they just don't like him.
Ohio State, they're that big of scumbags. Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean that is surprising for sure.
That's one of the most ridiculous and just like Lukas said, for his safety. Not for his safety. I mean, Urban Meyer was allowed into the big house last year or 2 years ago when we absolutely wiped the floor with Ohio State.
But he's not really a troll like Dave is.
But it's Urban Meyer. You think people at Michigan like Urban Meyer, an absolute loser?
No, but I think there's a little more.
That's like that is the weakest move of all time, being like, we're not going to allow someone in the stadium that didn't do anything wrong. That's like that school might be the worst school in the history of sports. Like the worst. A bunch of losers who like they get to win. They're like, you know what they're like? They're like the spoiled kids growing up that just like win everything and just think they're better than everyone else. And it's like, I can't wait for you to be just like pushed back in life one day, like smacked in the face. I want to see it. I want to see someone hit you one day. All right, that might have been mean. I'm sorry, I don't mean it.
He should be able to go in there.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. That was mean of me to say all that. But
that's soft. It's soft. I mean,
it is very soft. Came from the heart.
Yeah,
Lukas is saying Coat Booner. If you guys want to be losers like that and start picking and choosing who gets to go in your games because you don't want to like that, you guys are losers for that. Who's coping with what? That's the worst thing of all time. That like shows how scared you guys are.
Dave Portnoy's presence has you rattled. I mean, that's
crazy, dude.
I mean, Michael says the fan of a team that got caught cheating is
here. It is, Michael. Just keep bringing up that. Like, what are we doing here? It's over with. Get over it. Like I said, if you keep bringing it up, you're a loser too. And Michael, I love you, but let's just stop being soft in college football.
Ben Blue says, didn't someone from 97.1 have to protect their kid when getting somewhere through the tunnels because of the hostility in the shoe? I mean,
is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if this is true or not, but that's in the shoe. Klotzy, you got to answer that shit, man. That's you. That's all you, Klotz.
Klotz invited us to Ohio State this week too. That's funny.
Yeah, I wish I could. I can't go this weekend.
Yeah,
I can't make it out there. It'll be a great game though. It'll be a really good game. Yeah, look at Lukas said Ohio State fans are Philly fans. Is that a fair comp?
No, I mean, no. Philly fans at least like they're not gonna like.
They're the worst.
I think they are when in terms of like just being scumbags, but like I don't in a respectful way. I'm not saying that. I think I like Philly fans. I think they're cool. Like
they're loyal. They're very loyal.
But like I don't think they're like gonna like kick people out of their stadium and say don't come in here. Like no, they'll have you in there and they'll talk. They'll go at you. Like I respect that. I would rather go somewhere and you like come at me a little bit than just be like, hey, you can't come because you're a fan of that school. That's the.
Yeah, Xavier says I saw a Philly fan punch another Philly fan, steal his hot dog, and the entire crowd cheered.
It's thrilling.
Yeah,
it's what you live for.
I think, dude, those fans are just. It's not. I'm not. Other fan bases should not look at Philly and look at those that fan base and say that's
Coach Walk said Philly fans will fight me. Is that true? I always thought I always had kind of a respect for Philly fans. I always thought it was thrilling. Like.
No, they're
I know that.
I'm not. I don't want to speak for all the Philly fans because I have a buddy. I have some buddies out. I just was in that kind of area, not in Philly, but there's Philly fans to where I went, and there's some that are really cool. Like I'm not going to speak for all of them, but I think if you go to an Eagles game, there's a lot of douchebags. Like there's just a lot of they want problems with you. Usually, they want problems. They want to start shit. Like Nick P said, that's what they do.
Oh, breaking news, Jeff. this is big.
Ricky?
Big week coming. Ricky leaks.
Oh,
Something's happening. This is what I love to see. I think I get a text, me and you get a text in a group chat once a day about Rick Slick, man. Ricky Slick
Scoops,
from the
man.
doc. The doc hates him. The doc's like, I blocked him, and still every day text just about Ricky Slick, man.
This is like John the Doc's worst enemy. He hates this dude.
Oh, and you know what too? Ricky Scoops has been right, and I love Doc. You're listening. He's been right 100 times more than you when it comes to these NFL.
No,
He has dominated you, Doc. He's gonna text us.
He tweeted out the Zach Allen deal. He just did the Terry McLaurin deal.
He just keeps hitting. He's within like a million or two of every single one, and he's like, dude. The other day, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's just go to Rick Slick's Twitter. By the way, the man follows me too.
Yeah, he followed me too, man. He's
I love this guy. I think he might watch our show. There's a side of me, I believe he watches our show, and he's like, I love these boys because they just pump him up. Like we pump him up. Look at this. Imagine this happens. There was another one a couple days ago. Ricky Slick, white boy summer rolls on. Congrats, Bengals fans.
White boy summer.
Oh man.
That's funny as hell, man.
Hold on. There was one a couple days ago. The Brian Robinson one.
Oh, yeah.
He literally tweeted out. No, and I didn't hear anything. I knew Brian Robinson was going to get traded, but he tweeted out this and said, Commanders are expected to trade Brian Robinson Jr. today. And he was the only one that I saw tweet that out.
That's crazy.
He was the only one. And then literally he tweeted out, he said
the dog is right. The dog was right.
The Niners, Cowboys, and Texans are the teams interested. And he got it.
I'm just saying, man.
There it is, folks. Ricky Slicky.
Ricky Scoops. And his graphics are so ass. I just love his graphics too. They just say
best,
breaking
dude.
news. Rumor.
He is the best, man. I think he's one of the best in the business.
It's got to be annoying, like from Doc's perspective, like this dude named Ricky Scoops just comes into the scene and starts tweeting out news. Like that's got to be annoying.
And Doc's like, well, he just gets his news from other news networks. I don't know, because from what I heard, dude, like I think I heard it on the McAfee. I think they talked about him. They were like, this is a troll account from a former GM or executive, like someone who's been high up in the NFL that no longer does it and is like, I have all these connections. I'm going to do it under a random name, not give my name out there, and I'm just going to be an insider as a joke. That's what I heard.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the Doc's like, he actually doesn't know any. From the conversations I've heard, he does.
It's Ricky Scoops, man.
Like he has contacts. So Doc's just missing out on free news. It doesn't, since he blocked Ricky Slick.
Slick Rick Scoops did say Hutch gets an extension though.
He said they were working on it.
They're working. You know
that he hasn't been right 100% of the time. I would say that, but I would say 80% of the time the man's killed it.
KD says, "Great show. Love the emotion and debate. Appreciate that, KD. We appreciate you for
Kevin Durant watching. That's big. Appreciate that, Kevin. Sick, dude.
Crazy Klotz says, have a great night, everyone. Crush Time Sports. Appreciate that. Nick P says he actually mentioned that he worked in the field before.
He's got connections, Jeff. I hope there's just one day, and I hope he actually does watch us. That's the reason he followed us. But I hope we're like in Indy next year for the combine, and it's just like some guy comes up to us, is like,
his identity gets revealed.
I'm Rick Slick, and I promise you, dude. And I know we've met a lot of people. That would be one where my heart drops. Like I'm like hands start to sweat.
I'm surprised you haven't known. Like when remember you asked me, you're like, who is like? Remember the first time we brought him up?
I was like, hesitant.
And then you're fully in because dude,
I'm a big fan, dude.
I was the same way, dude. I think last season I saw him and I was like, who is this dude? He hits. He does. And now you see the light, bro. He hits. I thought I was crazy. He only has like 40K.
Yeah, and he's always hit smacking. Oh, the Doc. I got a text from the Doc.
What'd he say?
He said 10-point word for Booner. Said gaslighting. That's all we got from him.
Nice work. Shout out to Doc, man. Shop the VTG. Shout out to him, by the way. He says, have you ever seen Slick Rick and Lukas in the same room? No, we have not.
Have not.
Lukas, he could be Slick Rick. Definitely.
What if Slick Rick is like, I'm trying to think of someone who like, who was the, Who's the guy that works with Bill Belichick now? Lombardi?
Oh, that would be funny.
It's like Lombardi or something.
Maybe it's like Rick
Quinn?
Spielman. Rick Spielman?
Rick Spielman. Wow. Rick Spielman's a funny guy, man. He was one of the guys at the combine we just kept seeing dude, I saw Rick Spielman 30 times, random spots at the combine.
Yeah. He was just he's out and about, man. He's
having some drinks, having a good time.
Hey, we'll get out of here. Appreciate you all. As always, the love. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m., talking the Lions roster cuts.
God, this dude was hammered one night. He was stumbling.
We will be back. Shout out Rick Spielman, man. He had a great time, dude.
Oh, dude, I love it. I don't know if we're allowed to say that stuff, but it just...
No, it's all right. Fuck it. It's all good. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Much love.
Love you guys. See ya.